Bob Spillane could not be here tonight. He is on travel and couldn't make this meeting, but he will be back at next meeting. And he is not resigning, so he will be filling out his full term, and I'm sure he'll tell us more about that next meeting. First order of business is to approve the minutes, of which we have none.
That's right, yep.
So our recording secretary got stuck in the storm and couldn't make it back here tonight.
So we'll have the 14th, 28th, and tonight at the next meeting.
Right. Okay.
Right. Yep. Good.
The next item is financials, and
We're about over 2 here.
we got an email from Julia late this afternoon that Trio has been down and giving her trouble, so she does not have the financial data to date, so we will skip over that one. And that leads us to town manager announcements.
Well, I do have 1 or 2 here. Also, in Julia's email, it did mention that at the end of our meeting, she would like us to approve the warrants upon approval, and once she prints those off, she's going to ask some of you to come in and sign those.
Sure.
So, town report bids. Town report bids were due on Friday. I opened them today, and we had 3 bids to print our town report. We had Bangor Letter Shop at $9,220.79. We had Express Copy at $4,269.20. And we had Lincoln County Publishing at $4,300. And that includes 4-color cover and UV coating. That's the company that has traditionally done our book for us. And I would just ask the board to, since we're only talking a $30 difference here in price, I would much prefer to continue to have it done with a company that's done it year in and year out, rather than start over with a new company.
I think the requirements are that we select the best value, not necessarily the lowest price.
That's right.
And I would agree with your argument that in terms of labor and time spent with a new vendor, we've been happy, I presume.
Very much so, yep.
Lincoln County, and given the very small difference, less than 10%, less than 1%.
Yeah.
I agree. So I would, we need to.
Yeah, I would ask the board to accept the bid from Lincoln County Publishing for $4,300.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll move we accept the Lincoln County Publishing bid,
Second.
$4,300.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous.
I just wanted to remind the board that one of the things we have coming up on Thursday, the 21st, at 4:30 is a workshop to discuss tax-acquired property and hopefully work towards formulating a specific town policy on the disposition of tax-acquired property. And Rob Crawford will be here for that, who is the attorney that we've worked with in the past for the Frankie Joe, for those of you that remember the sinking fishing boat out in the harbor.
Yes.
And
It's an open meeting.
yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, you already know about, well, we can mention it now. I also have a warrant for the referendum election for the Water District on February 26th, and I would ask the board to vote to accept this referendum warrant and sign this at the end of the meeting.
I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the referendum on the Water District.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Thank you. Lastly, I just wanted to commend Chris Lehman and Public Works for the job that they did during this storm this past weekend. As you know, Jody was out of town on vacation, and Chris stepped up, and he and the crew did a tremendous job keeping the town clear and open through the storm. And I've put something in the register saying the same thing, but I wanted to do that publicly as well.
Excellent. And our collective thanks to him as well, because it really was remarkable. I remember just driving through town and seeing everything was clean and done and looked great.
They did a great job. Yeah. So that's all I have for announcements, Bill.
We also have the hearing on the land use codes coming up on the 25th.
That's correct, yep.
Yeah, okay. That brings us to public hearings, and we have 2 liquor licenses, both for Boathouse Pub and Lobster Bakes, Inc., one doing business as Amore Bistro, and one doing business as Hot Tamale. Hot Tamale being new. Both of the liquor licenses are for Malt, Spiritus, and Venus. Both have been initialed by the police chief and seem to my eye to be in order. So I would entertain a motion.
I motion that we approve renewal for Boathouse Pub and Lobster Bakes doing business as Amore Bistro Italiano.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Amore Bistro liquor license. Any discussion? Seeing none.
No.
All in favor? It's unanimous. And now a motion for Hot Tamale.
Motion we approve the new application for Boathouse Pub and Lobster Bakes doing business as Hot Tamale.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
No.
Seeing none. All in favor?
No.
Jay's going for a record. They are both approved.
Good.
That brings us to the first public forum, and our public audience has tripled while we're Frank?
I have two things. Number one, is Mr. Splain, is he still with us, or?
You missed the announcement because you were late.
I know, I
I'm
was
sorry, I just couldn't.
helping
I
the
couldn't
nuns cross
resist.
the road.
Selectman Spillane is not here because he is on business. He is traveling, I believe, to China, even as we speak, and he is retracted his resignation, and he will be with us until May and beyond.
Getting a do-over, okay.
Absolutely.
And the second thing I would like to say, mostly to the camera,
Yeah.
would be that this land use ordinance hearing that we have coming up, I would encourage people to come up, get off the couch, come in and talk about it. At the last meeting where we got to put our input in, myself and another woman were the only ones here representing the entire town. And this is important stuff that has to do with your property and your neighbors. And if you're ever wondering how things got one way or the other and want to throw your hands up, it's because we let it get that way. And it's important that we come out and just take some time and to hear what's going on. You wouldn't believe what goes on at these meetings, and they really are. So I would encourage everybody to really think long and hard about coming out to this hearing. It's extremely, extremely important. Thank you.
And that's 6 o'clock on the 25th here.
Yes, what he said.
You just keep an eye on our website, his retraction stuff the day it happened.
Oh, I knew that. Never ask a question.
Jude.
I don't know the answer.
And while you're here visiting and telling everybody or listening to everybody else on what they think would be the nice thing for the town, please pick up a Booth Bay Harbor comprehensive land plan survey. It only takes about 10 minutes to fill out. And it puts some of your thoughts into writing. You can add comments, but it's sort of a yes, no, or maybe kind of questionnaire. 3 pages. Not hard to do.
Thank you, June. That's for the Booth Bay Harbor Comprehensive Plan, and it's available online at our website, I believe.
It's also
And
at the library.
It's at the library, and
It's
there
also out here on the desk.
hard
isn't
copies
it?
are available here, yes.
Yep.
You're the only one who hasn't spoken, Katrina.
Sorry.
In the public hearing, public forum, going once, going twice. That brings us to old business, and the first old business is the St. Andrews Task Force Activity Report. I'll turn the floor over to Valerie.
Okay. Our next meeting takes place on the 19th, it's a Tuesday, and you all should have had in your inboxes today an invitation to the public officials briefing, which will be on the 19th at 6:30. It's for the public officials for the 4 towns represented on the task force, and it'll be a presentation of the work of the task force to date, including the report from the High Vantage study. And I anticipate it lasting about 45 minutes or an hour. It's at the Booth Bay Town Office. And we'll also have a broader community meeting that'll take place on Tuesday, February 26th at 6:30 p.m. at the Booth Bay Region Elementary School, and that's to present the same information to the community and to the public, and that'll be a chance for public input on the work. And we continue to meet the first and the third Tuesdays of the month at the town office of Booth Bay at 7 p.m. usually. And a plug, on February 15th, we'll have our community dinner. It's the second dinner, fundraising dinner for the task force. The funds that we continue to raise are going towards the task force, but at this time, most of the fundraising effort is by the task force volunteers to pay off the iVantage Health Study. Technically, it has been paid for with all of the funds. They wanted the full funding of the report to come from the second opinion fund, which was the bank account started at the first. They got about 2/3 of the way funded, and the task force funds that were at the town office paid for the rest of the study. So they continue to want that second opinion fund to pay for the full iVantage study, in effect pay back the task force funds from the Booth Bay town office fund. But we have also, reminder that we've also pledged that when the task force is over, the funds that went to the task force will go to the ambulance service, which is what we decided in the beginning would happen. So we have right now about $15,000 in the bank account that is slated to go to the ambulance service.
I'm glad you explained this, because I watched the meeting and I was a little confused on the
Yeah.
finances. So my takeaway is that if you roll the second opinion fund together with the task force fund, you are ahead of the game. You paid off all your debts and you're ahead of the game by $15K.
That's right.
Good.
And I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Any questions for Valerie?
No,
Valerie, thank you.
You mentioned that the sub is at the
June,
firehouse.
we'll get to second public opinion in a minute. It's about 30 seconds away, I think.
Oh, you don't gavel her.
Is that right? Any other old business? Seeing none, we move on to new business. I don't think we have any.
Nope.
Now we're at the second public forum. Judy?
Selectmen's report.
I just
Oh,
want
I
to
skipped over.
reinforce that supper is at the fire hall, Booth Bay Fire Hall, upstairs.
Okay.
There's an
What
elevator.
do they have?
It's
Meat and vegetables.
everything that people
good.
bring.
Dig to your
All right.
ribs, bring your sweetheart.
Good supper, cheap.
In my rush, in my rush to get to new business in the second public forum, I skipped over the annual report from the selectmen, which we need to approve tonight in order to get it into the town report. Is that not correct?
Yep.
And so you should have gotten email copies, and unless there are further edits, I would entertain a motion to accept this.
I'll move we accept the annual report.
second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you.
There is no executive session tonight.
Your part B, public, I don't know if it was.
Yo, by all means. Part B of second public
You
forum.
almost got by. What's, any action on the fish pier? Anything happening there? Any tenants? Anybody calling?
I have not heard anything in the last 3 weeks.
Nope.
All right.
And I've had ads running in 3 of the 4 publications you mentioned. The only one I didn't was down east, just because it was cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any responses from any of them.
Is it National Fisherman?
That was one of them.
Good. Okay.
All done with second public forum? There is no executive session. We need a motion on the warrants.
I motion we approve the warrants upon review.
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the warrants upon review. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Anything else I've forgotten?
I don't think so.
All right.
I'll move we adjourn.
Beep, beep, zip, bang, huh?
This is a fast one.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. There can be no discussion. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you all.